everybody. Welcome to Capital Combat. The name says it all. I'm Hakeem Branch.
Rob Jarrell.
And today we're going to preview this Saturday's HBO World Championship Boxing, which features Gennady Golovkin, aka Triple G, versus Martin Murray. We're also going to talk about Arthur Abraham versus Paul Smith 2. That's going on over in Germany. Golovkin's fighting in Monte Carlo. We're going to start off with we're going to start off with Abraham and Paul Smith. Sorry, so many names, unfortunately. But Rob's going to start us off.
All right, so this is a rematch of Arthur Abraham's last fight.
Yes.
Where he beat Paul Smith by unanimous decision. But a lot of people felt like the cards were just too wide. The scores were just too wide, which, I mean, if you watch the fight, it was. Because Paul Smith, while not being the most talented guy, did make a good, showing of himself. He was just in there against a guy who could get the job done in Arthur Abraham. And then there are the rumors that Arthur Abraham took him lightly, which, you shouldn't take anyone lightly when you enter the ring. I don't care who you are, because anything can happen at any given time.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't want to say he's been on the decline, but Arthur Abraham has not looked the same since the Super 6 tournament.
True. And honestly, I didn't think he looked that good then. But he's one of those guys that gets the job done, like Rob said. Bringing it up to this last fight with him and Paul Smith. Paul Smith beat him to the punch repeatedly. He did good body work. But as the fight wore on, Abraham kind of turned it on, as he does always. He's a slow starter, to put it lightly. Like, he's a slow starter. But he does have a little bit of pop in those fists. Mm-hmm. So he usually, produces the knockout. And in this one, like Rob said, there was a lot of people who thought Paul Smith won the fight handily. A lot of people think Abraham won the fight handily. But there was nobody that agreed that Abraham won by the scores that were given. One of them was like 11 rounds to 1. Ridiculous. I think I gave Paul Smith like the first 3 rounds at least. Mm-hmm. But as far as this fight goes, I think we see the same fight. Arthur Abraham is who he is. He's going to fight how he fights. And the same thing with Paul Smith. Both of these guys are veterans. Abraham has been to the biggest stages, like Rob said, in the Super 6. Paul Smith is one of those perennial contenders, and he's pretty much gotten as good as he's going to get. So we're probably going to see the exact same fight, this time with better judged scorecards, and the result staying the same.
Yeah, I can see Arthur Abraham being more assertive in this fight, just to make a point that, again, many say he took him lightly. So he's going to try to put a point on this, especially with a super fight, or a German super fight with Felix Sturm on the line. Because that'll be a rubber match between the two, if I'm not mistaken. At least a rematch.
I'm going to have to look that up. I don't think they fought.
I thought they fought. Maybe that's something else. We'll take a look at it. We'll, of course, have it in there, but I thought this might have been at least a rematch. But apparently it's just looming, and it's going to be a big money fight, especially in Germany.
Yes. So we'll see how that ends up, and we'll recap in the post-fight. Next up, we got Triple G versus Martin Murray. And in a fight where both of these guys are probably the best guy that they fought to this day, even though Martin Murray has fought Sergio Martinez for the middleweight championship of the world. When he did, Martinez was coming off a knee surgery. He injured his knee again in that fight. Mm-hmm. So he wasn't, 100%, but he did just enough to squeak by Murray. So with Murray, we got a guy who's tough. He's going to bring it. Not the most skilled, not the most powerful, but like I said, he's going to bring it. And that grit and determination has brought him through most of the fights he has thus far, except for when he made it to that top tier with Sergio Martinez and once again with Golovkin. You've already just heard my prediction. He's not going to win. We all know he's not going to win. The question is, how long does it take for Golovkin to knock this guy out? Rob, what do you think on how long it's going to take for Golovkin to knock Martin Murray out?
Murray's a tough guy. He can weather the storm. The only thing is he doesn't have the power to discourage Golovkin. And while Golovkin can box, he has probably the best chin in the division, in the middleweight division. So unless he can at least make him feel his punches to the point where, you know, he backs up and then take advantage, I don't see it going. Oh, I really don't see it going more than 7 rounds. I'd be surprised if it goes more than 7.
Yeah, the way Golovkin puts his punches together, the force he generates when he puts his punches together, the technical skill in which he puts his punches together, I'm going to go 4. Now, we know Martin Murray's a tough guy. Gave Sergio Martinez all he can handle. We talked about that already. But he hasn't faced a monster like this. And Golovkin has destroyed pretty much everyone he has been in with. This is going to be, if it happens, his 19th straight knockout. Now, given these aren't the best upper echelon fighters, these are the best fighters that are saying, okay, I'll fight him. You can't blame him for, you know, Sergio Martinez not wanting to fight him, or Peter Quillin, or Miguel Cotto, or who else has a belt in that? Andy Lee just got a belt.
Yeah.
I mean, he just got a belt, so he's not going to be in a rush to fight him. And I think he's about to fight Peter Quillin. Yes,
yeah.
So maybe the winner of that fight steps up and fights Golovkin. The belt holders don't want to fight him, so he's fighting whoever gets in the ring with him, and he's looking spectacular and knocking these guys out. So after that happens, we will talk about who we think, you know, will step up to the plate and hopefully give Golovkin a challenge, because we don't think that this one is going to be it. But that is the reason they fight the fights. Martin Murray could go in there and put on the fight of his life, shock the world, and then we'll have a really interesting post-fight discussion to talk about, wouldn't we? Yeah, we would. Yeah, like that's gonna happen. But we felt the same way about Buster Douglas and Mike Tyson, which was, you know, had to throw that in there because that was like the 25th anniversary last year. Earlier this month. Nobody thought he was going to do it either.
Not at all.
Yeah, and look what happened. So, let's let these guys get in the ring, scrap it out. And that's it for this episode, guys. Hope you like it. Give us a thumbs up. Comment below. Hit us up on Facebook, Google+, Capital Combat. Easy to find us. You hit us up on our email, capitalcombat@gmail.com. And if you haven't, hit the subscribe button. You can check out the technical toolbox, combat mailbag. We got a lot more stuff coming for you. So subscribe so you catch all of it. We'll see the rest of you guys in the next episode. Thanks for watching. Peace.
This is round 1 and you've already lost. They don't seem to see that everything we've done is coming and cost. My fists are on fire, I perform till I perspire. My demons are in a rage, keep thinking that it's a game. I kick rhyme, hurricane, I told them I don't play, I'm liquid.
Black Street Fighter.